Lawmakers say the printed version of the Maine Constitution should include language about the state's obligation to Native American tribes. The legislature voted yesterday in support of a proposal to restore language to the Constitution that requires Maine to honor treaties. Maine inherited the treaties when it became its own state more than 200 years ago. The language still applies, but was removed from printed versions of the Constitution later in the 19th century. The proposal still needs a two-thirds majority in both chambers and approval directly from voters in a statewide vote.